Have a story to tell? I believe you. Ghost, cryptids, the unknown. Let's talk about it. This is my GhostCast.
Have you ever met somebody that kind of simplified things for you or cleared things up? Yeah, that kind of happened with me in college. It was a professor trying to help me understand higher maths. I was like, I don't get it. This doesn't make sense to me. And he said, well, let me simplify it for you. Once he did, he unlocked all kinds of understanding. Now I look at math as like a primary language. Like, how do you not speak math, you know? Well, this gentleman, Brian Stovall with Activate One, this guy's that guy, but with the paranormal. Enjoy this episode. Pretty cool.
Hey guys, welcome to the next episode of my GhostCast. I'm your host, Threz. I have a special guest for you today. This is pretty exciting. This guy's named Brian Stovall. Am I saying that right?
Stovall, yes.
Awesome. And he's got a lot to bring us up on speed. This is going to be a don't miss one, so check this out. Audience, this is Brian.
Hey, good day to you. So tell me what you'd like to know about first.
Okay. What got you into this? What introduce my audience to who you are and
no problem.
How you got into this?
Well, ever since I was a little kid, I was active with spirits. So I've had, had a spirit that held me down when I was a kid, which later I ended up realizing that it just wanted to gift me something. So it's weird how we confuse things sometimes where we think it's scary. And then you're like, wait, it just wants me to give me something. So that was, something that I learned as I went along. So that's super amazing. So, and then I had more experiences as I moved on. And so I started training in jiu-jitsu for a little while. And then I got more into energy. And then I trained after I kind of went into jiu-jitsu for a little while. And then I just got so attracted to all these energy modalities. And I trained in 9 different techniques and modalities. And so I've narrowed it down to 3 that I use the most. And they're on my website. And so the entities, I clear houses, spaces, buildings, land, all over the world, wherever you would like. So I can do it with pictures or on a Zoom or whatever it is. So I've been clearing entities for a very, very long time now. And so I first had a lady kind of remind me when I had a girlfriend. She was working for someone and she brought her over to my house. And next thing I know, she cleared me off. And I was like, wow, I feel incredibly better. And I asked her if I could follow her around. And the next thing you know, I was following her around and clearing entities. And then I was doing it by myself. And so it's like I always knew. It's just like I needed to be reminded that, hey, you're magical, you can do this. And then I got more and more into it and I cleared. And then I even got into another modality called Access Consciousness, and they have an entity clearing and a class. And so I started to become a facilitator of that. And so it just kind of kept moving forward and getting better and better. And so I just assist a lot of people with that now. And then also clarify things a lot of times because, this society with entities, a lot of times they make it super scary, and it doesn't have to be super scary. Just like that example I used in the very beginning is, I was scared because I was a little kid. I was being held down, and the movies like to make it that way a lot. It's like, oh, it's scary. Well, you got to ask questions. Are they really trying to do something to me, or are they actually trying to gift me something? Do I need to receive something here? So it's a lot of times, or do they need assistance because they're stuck? Because imagine if you didn't have a sense of time and you were holding on to, for say, that crystal back there that's behind me. And it was like, this is my crystal. I'm never going to let it go. However, you don't know how to let it go and you have no sense of time and you're standing there for 1,000 years. So you might get frustrated if you were holding on to something and you didn't know how to let go of it. So that's just an example. I mean, it could be that they need you to actually move that crystal to somebody that that it really belongs to, and that they want you to get it to them. I'm just using that crystal behind me as an example. Okay. I mean, of course. So it could be anything like antiques or a wedding dress or whatever that is. And so and a lot of times these entities get caught in a loop and they're like sitting there, they're trying to finish something that they didn't. And actually finish when they were alive. And a lot of times entities, you're an entity with a body though. So we clarify what an entity is. Entities are people, they're buildings, they're businesses, they're books, there are all kinds of songs, there's entities, there are all kinds of different things. So there's other beings that are demons, and there's other beings from other dimensions and all kinds of different things and other worlds. And so you can go bananas with all kinds of crazy stuff that you actually are around you, and you're around it all the time. So it's weird that we actually get afraid of them, because you walk outside and you're around them all the time, yet you're just not paying attention to it because nobody's taught you to say, hey, you're super aware. You're super amazing. You have beings around you. And there's some that are actually always there, that are always assisting you, like contributing to you, making you greater. So if you make them all bad, then you're cutting off the ones that are helping you, that are right behind you or right beside you, and they're wanting you to actually be better and be greater. So it's interesting.
That is very interesting. Yeah. If you look at it in a way, for those scientist folks, it's like probiotics, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got good bacteria and bad bacteria.
Exactly. So just like there's good people and bad people, and them like with bodies right now, same thing with entities. There's good and bad ones. And so you just got to ask questions. You got to say, okay, is this one really like working for me? And if it feels like really heavy and contracted, then hey, that's not true for you. That's a lie. If it's really light and expansive, then that's really true. So use that as a test. Kind of, if you feel really uncomfortable, then okay, maybe that one's not there. Ask it to leave. Say, hey, I'm not available for this. You can go now. The thing is that you've always been more powerful than them. You've got a body. They don't. So use that. Use your power and potency and be the most dominant entity in the room. So if you look at that, if you were somewhere in a restaurant or something and somebody was disrespecting you, would you let them keep doing that to you, or would you ask them to go away?
Absolutely, yeah. I'd say, get your ass out of here.
So exactly. So it's the same thing. You just got to be confident in it. And because they know if you're not confident about it, they're like, whatever, you're not confident, and so I'm going to take advantage of that. And so no, you just be solid in your energy, or like not solid, I would change that word, be strong and potent in your energy. Okay. And then actually just ask them to leave. You could even gently be powerful and potent and push them out of the room or out of your house. And it's just that easy. It's not hard. So
interesting.
So it's interesting because a lot of them need your assistance because they're lost too. So some of them will just be like, wow, how can somebody's acknowledging me? What in the world? And if you just tell them they're dead, hey, do you know you don't have a body anymore? A lot of them will just go poof and leave. Because they don't understand a lot of times. They think they're still in their body and they're trying to complete something or whatever that may be, or talk to somebody, or there's a lot of different like aspects and avenues that could be going on there. So it's not just one thing. It's it could be a billion different things that the entity is looking to complete. So I know I just went down a whole avenue. So
I was like, that was pretty cool. I'm like, oh man, I got a lot of questions, and that's really neat because, well, I'm gonna save it because we'll start the next segment. I got some pretty cool stuff I want to ask you, and we can share with the audience, and perhaps you can shed some light on some past events that are making sense just through this conversation alone.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, what's the next step?
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Hold your seat, hold your tacos.
All right, see you in a bit. Hello, it's Brian Stovall on My GhostCast. Thanks for watching and listening with us. We're grateful to have you here. Make sure to check out Brian Stovall at activateone.com. That's activateone.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to My GhostCast. Our guest, Brian Stovall. Brian, I got a couple of questions to lead right into it. You touched base with something that hit me as a child. You were talking about something holding you down. I had a similar experience, but I don't know if you want to reveal anything on your end, but I had a similar experience, but I felt it was protecting me from something that was making weird noises in the window, and it wouldn't let me turn around. I was trying to, but I felt this whole pressure on my back, and I was face down trying to turn to look at this thing that was making noise in my window. It sounded like a messed up bird. I never heard that thing before. Just like, and I was like, and it was still a little bit of light. Light was going down. I heard it at a distance. Then I heard it closer. I was laying asleep, but I had my window open at a brand new home that my parents had purchased. And it was still kind of out in the, a little bit outside of the city, so it was a lot of open land, and right next to it, which will be one of the episodes coming up. If you haven't seen it, it'll be called there was a spot that was infamous for devil worshiping. I walked in there a couple of times out of curiosity as a kid, you're seeing all these weird stuff on the walls. But anyways, there was a lot of stuff that came from that.
That spot was in the house, or that spot was where? Where did you walk into that as a kid?
It was away from our subdivision, right outside the subdivision. It was an old airplane. What was it called? Oh my God. It was called the, I'm gonna have to remember. It was a hangar. It was an old airplane hangar that had been, kind of condemned and chained off, but people would break in, and at nights there was all kinds of stuff. I didn't think none of that stuff was true until I went and saw it myself, and I was like, oh damn, this place is true. But anyways, right down the street was our new subdivision, and so we had just moved in, and this bird thing I heard, and it was right all of a sudden in my window, and something was holding me down, wouldn't let me turn around to see what it was.
Did you go to that hangar before, or you had that happen? Okay, it was after?
It was after.
Okay, right. So, all right. So, okay. So what you want to ask yourself with this is because like I spoke about previously, there's a lot of people tend to get scared just because they have an experience with an entity. And so first thing you want to ask is truth. So you can say truth and then with an entity, and then you'll get that light or heavy energy like I talked about previously, right? And so remember that light energy that expands out is you've probably walked into a room and where you've been like, oh my God, I don't want to be here. It's like, whoa.
Yes.
That's you're having the experience, that contraction. Or you've walked into a room and you're like, wow, this is so open, spacious, light. So use that as because it kind of bypasses your head when you do that. You're going to the energy of it. So, and energy is the language. And so you're using that energy to speak with these spirits too. So that's what's going on with that. And so what you go, truth. And so truth was that entity there to assist you. And so you just go to the lightness or heaviness of it now and see what you know about that. So rather than going to a lot of other people to know what they know, start expanding what you know too. Ask questions, see what's true there, and start to use your knowing, because what do you know that they don't know that you can tell everybody about? And so that's the point that it's empowering you to know that you know. Okay.
That's
so
cool.
when I ask you that, is it light or heavy? Was that entity there to assist you, or is it?
I think they was there to assist me, because I felt like it was like, look, just stay down. Trust me, you don't want to see what's in your window.
Great. So will you acknowledge that now instead of because a lot of times if we don't acknowledge it, then we dissipate it and shrink it down. It's like we're taking our power and potency and making it smaller. So let's acknowledge it and allow it to expand and get greater. Okay. So if we acknowledge that, and then you acknowledge that being, and so that may be a teammate of yours. So truth, is that a teammate, light or heavy? And then look and see. So what you have a group that's around you all the time. They're your teammates. They're not greater than you. That's what you notice how I'm using the word teammates. Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's different than like guides and angels and so on and so forth. You can have angels that are your teammates, and you can have beings that assist you. The thing is that you don't want to make them greater than you. Because if you do, you're shrinking your power and potency again. Okay, you want to have them with you as a teammate, working together, asking questions, saying, okay, can you assist me with this? Ask for assistance. Ask for assistance from your teammates. Say, hey, teammates, can you assist me with this? And then they become your assistants and also your teammates working with you. And so it becomes a different energy, and it expands and makes you the potency and power that you are, rather than, oh, poor me, show me the way. That's not what you really desire. You desire to be empowered and strong and move forward and choose together.
Yeah. That's exactly what I figured out way later, though. It's like, okay, right. I'm in this situation. I got this, I moved to Vegas, and that place was weird with a feeling. I get feelings and I trust them, and I'm like, oh my God, this whole place is weird. It's got a weird feel to it. And when I was there, I was staying at this house, and something would show up only when I was by myself. It'd wake me up late at night, and it'd start breathing. It was, and I'm like, is that me? Am I making that noise? Thought it was my breathing, but it wound up being something. I felt a heaviness, kind of like what you're saying, and uncomfortableness, like there's no tomorrow. But after a while, you become comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so right there with that heaviness that you described, okay, that's wonderful. That's a great description of it. And so look at that, and then look at how, because entities are attracted to bodies that they were similar to, okay, when they had a body. So whatever you may have had going on when you were in Vegas, you may have had something that was similar to another entity, and they were like, ooh, there's that body that's similar to mine. So let me get close to that, or, wrap around it and get with that one. And so, and then if you also acknowledge and look at that, the entity has its own energy, and you may absorb some of their energy or their like emotions or whatever they had going on when they had a body. And then you start to think it's you, then that's where you can get kind of mixed up, right? So what you want to do with that is just like, who does this belong to? Return to sender. And just like ask the universe, say, and this comes from access consciousness, so which is just a modality. And so basically what you do, ask the universe, who does this belong to? And then you just say, return to sender. It's just that easy. And you're like sending the energies back to whoever it belongs to without a point of view. So because if you have a point of view, you may stop it where it could go further. So you would like to just let it flow as far as it can go to wherever it goes. Okay. So who does this belong to? Return to sender. So let's try that right now. From that experience that you had with that entity, because you said it got heavy, which means it's not yours. That's a lie, because it's heavy, right? Okay. Right. So any energies that you have from that being that maybe you still have, will you just let them go right now? Just like, who does this belong to? Return to sender.
Who does this belong to? Return to sender.
Right. And do it a couple more times.
Who does this belong to? Return to sender.
And notice notice as you're doing it, it may be getting lighter for you. And if it is getting lighter, that means, remember, what's the lightness mean? It's the truth for you, right? Okay. Right. So everywhere you bought the lie of whatever they had going on, will you just let that go now? And then
the interesting thing with that particular story is it bothered me for about 3 nights. Right. And I would ignore it for the first couple of times. It all came in the same way every time, but it only did it when I was by myself. And I would just put my old Walkman on. I'm giving away my age, you know.
Yeah.
My Walkman on, and I hold the little CD player in my hand, and then just go to sleep until one night I had run out of battery, so I couldn't really put it on. It was kind of the last night I dealt with this thing, and I was by myself. And we all get, I suppose, in that fight or flight mode. And I try to, just as martial arts, I've been involved in martial arts a long time, is I'm like, look, I don't want to fight you if I don't have to. And eventually I was like, I started getting scared, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to be scared. This is BS. And I just went, and I just walked out into the living room, and I said, you come out now. Let's deal with this. And I said it in a more vulgar way, but we're on a show. So, And I said, let's deal with this now. I don't care what you look like. We're ending this right now. And I said, I'm giving you 5 minutes to show yourself, and let's deal with this. And I waited there, and I didn't recognize myself in some ways. I felt like I had this armor on, and I was ready to just let's do this, anyways. But so I just had this pointiness to me that was like on par. Some of our arts call it, I was in Sanshin. I was in this, let's do this mode. And I stayed that way for about 5 minutes. And I noticed when I was looking in the kitchen, because it was extremely dark in the kitchen. It was a dark that I couldn't even see. I mean, all the lights were out, but I have pretty good night vision. But I couldn't see past the threshold in there. I couldn't see the cabinets. I couldn't see anything. And then finally, at the end of that, I just started seeing it clear. And I was like, that's what I thought. Now you get the heck out of here. And I got to say that in a friendly way. Yes. But it wasn't so friendly at the time. And I was very sure of myself. I said, nah, dude, you're done. Get your ass out of here and don't bother me again. Went to sleep, and I was never bothered by that entity.
That's excellent. And so that is what we talked about earlier, is like stepping in your power and potency, and then, asking it to leave. And that's great that you used your energy. And so what you could do with that, and so one point you want to really acknowledge and look at there is that, okay, even if you did get scared, that's great. And so that gives them a little like advantage when you do that. So work to, this may not be easy for everybody at first. However, work towards not being scared of them at all. Because if you remember their fear that they're creating is a lie, then you don't give them the power that they're looking for. Okay, so that's the step that you can start moving towards, is to not be afraid of them and to know that you're more powerful. So let's acknowledge right now what you chose, that you chose that potency and power, and then you ask it to leave. So let's acknowledge that. That was wonderful, and you did great. And then let's acknowledge how you can take steps towards actually being even different with it. Because I remember when I first started clearing, I remembered it was like, it almost seemed like it was a battle, but it's really not. And the more I got comfortable with it, and more I got less just like, okay, I'm here. And the more I just let down my walls and barriers rather than fight. Because if you put up the energy of fight, then they put up the energy of fight, and it is a fight. So they're going to be like, okay, we're ready to fight. I'm fighting too. And so if you relax and be calm with them, and then you actually, say, hey, and then you can still be, even with that, like lowering your walls and barriers, and you can still be that potency. And in fact, even more so, and with a different intensity, and then like kind of push them out. If you need to push them out, or ask them to leave, and be in a different energy with it. So that way you might find more ease with that, because they are relaxed, you're relaxed, and then it's being that still that potency and power to let things shift into something different.
That's pretty neat, because that reminds me of stuff when I was going through the police academy back in the day. There was something that they kept pushing toward us called verbal judo. And it was about, intonation, learning to totally take the edge off, coming up to somebody or anything going there. And you're mindful with your words so that you dissipate anybody who's already on the edge, because you're there, and it's like, okay, hey, there's certain words you don't say, you want to have this energy about you. That's pretty cool.
Yes, and that's beautiful. And it doesn't mean that you are a doormat whatsoever. It means that you just are delivering a different energy, and you can still be that intensity of no, and just be like, whoa. And so, and not a fight though. Fight energy is different. And so, but if you like have that intensity and that strength and that power and potency, and then you deliver it, and it doesn't have to be like, I'm going to fight you. It's more like no, and then boom, and push them out. So it's a different energy. So you just work with it, see how it works for you, and see, what's possible for you with, playing with that and being that verbal judo that you're talking about.
Man, this is what I'm talking about. I'm gonna have you like almost every day. No, because this is neat. Because at some point, I'd like to bring on other guests to introduce them, and we can do, a different format. And
yeah, definitely.
This would be awesome, Brian. Thanks so much. In the meantime, guys, we'll be right back with more of Brian's potency on his words. This is cool, man. Anyways, we'll be right back. This is my GhostCast.
See you in a second.
Guys, this is Realtor in the Loop.
And you're watching my GhostCast with Realtor in the Loop. Welcome back to my GhostCast. We have our guest is Brian Stovall. Brian, this has been an amazing trip. This is interesting, actually.
Yay!
Thank you. Actually, really, we met because Dr. Price Dr. Price was telling me, hey, you guys should talk. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's amazing, and so I'm so grateful to be here with you guys. And so, let me what other questions you guys have? I would love to, just go down and see what do you have?
Yeah, I man, where do I begin? I mean, okay, so I don't know. Since I had a recent experience, I got sick with COVID.
Okay.
And I almost passed away. I was in the hospital in the ICU for like 3 weeks. And
I'm glad to still be with you.
Yeah. And I woke up around 3 something in the morning, and there was something in the room with me. And it was to describe it is like, it was the nicest person with the softest voice asking me, hey, you ready to go? And I'm like, what? All this pain? You think I want to stay here?
Yeah.
And I almost took its hand, and so another voice showed up and kind of intervened. And it was like, yeah, why don't you leave now so that for the upcoming battle, your family could fight by themselves. You go ahead, go ahead. I was like, what? It called me a couple of names that I won't try not to put on here. It was like, yo, wouldn't you be a little girl? What? I don't want to be a little girl. I don't want to be a part of a girl's part.
Yeah.
And so that kind of woke me up from this hand that was kind of presented to me in a way that it wasn't there, but it was there, and it woke me up, and that's when I was like, all of a sudden they had to send me to the next phase of the ICU, because my stuff started going down, and I was like, and I had this anger of like, I need to finish why I'm here. My purpose is not complete. So what can you say about any of that, or what's your experience with some of those either near-death experiences?
That's a very interesting experience that you have there. And so what I would ask you is that is the one that I was asking you to go somebody that was a teammate, Truth, or is it somebody that you know about that being? Just like kind of get what you know about that.
What it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's what my mind tells me, and it was enticing. It was like, yay,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the question it really asked me was, it'd be easier if you just let go. I'll never forget what it asked me. And I was like, who's in here?
Sometimes that it's just a choice. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is just a choice. And then letting go of the body when it is in that sort of state is something that a lot of beings will actually go through the experience of trying to hold on to it when it's not going to work anymore. And that causes a with the body. However, you had something in you, and you were like, so Truth, will you acknowledge that you chose to live?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so and acknowledge that choice, and then also acknowledge the magic that you be, because you chose to live. You healed your body. You had teammates that were assisting you. You had doctors, you had your energy, your teammates. It was your choice, though, to choose to stay and be here, come back and be with this body that actually allowed that possibility to actualize. And so will you acknowledge the power and potency that you truly be, and see the amazingness that you actually are? And so
yeah, I think I'm pretty amazing.
There you go.
I mean,
So
not in a joking way. I think the word I hit is I'm badass.
Yeah, there you go.
I really am.
So, and and it's not about being cocky or anything of that sort.
Right.
It's acknowledging that potency and power that we've been talking about. And the more you be you, and that amazingness that you are, the more you change the world around you. And so,
man, you said it perfect. My world has changed since then, and I feel I've been affecting other people in a way, you know, and I've been sharing my energy with folks and passing it on. You know, I feel that.
And look at that. So you can look at COVID and see it as like a horrible thing that happened to you, or you can also change it and flip the script and say, okay, yeah, it wasn't nice. I didn't like it. However, it changed something with me that allowed me to be more of me. And so that's the thing you grab, take that forward, leave the other part behind, and just move forward and be that greatness of you with that portion that actually is working for you. And that is expanding and is creating more and allowing you to share more, be more with other people and, the world. So that's amazing. And so if you look at this, is that it's just kind of like a change point for you. Like, so what change point did you choose? And so in that moment, in that hospital, right? Is a hospital?
Yeah. It was in the hospital. I spent a lot of time not watching television, and I spent a lot of time on my thoughts and, clearing things up. I think Doc Price was talking about, clarity. And boy, did clarity come when you haven't drank or eaten anything in 5 days, man. That's what had happened. I caught pneumonia in my lungs, and they couldn't, they were trying to keep me from drinking any water because it would just go right in my lungs, and I wasn't hungry, and so they had to kind of feed me through needles, and I just like I was deteriorating, but yeah.
Well, okay, so did those beings contribute to you, like energetically? Did you allow them? Did you receive from them? Remember how I told you in the beginning I had a being that scared me at first, and then later on, like many years ago, just like recently, asked, maybe like a year ago, asked, hey, was that being trying to gift me something? I was like, yes. And I was like, oh, here you go. And then it handed me whatever. Since I was a little kid, I was like, he handed me the energy that had been waiting because I was pretty patient. And so it just handed me and said, okay, see you later. And I was like, okay, see you later. And then it was like, wow. I was like, all that time, you just wanted to gift me something. So will you look at this and see if there's something that they were gifting you? Even if that one that you didn't chose to go with, did it gift you something?
Yeah, I suppose it did. It gave me get your stuff together and go make a difference instead of, being comfortable where you're at. Your complacency will be the death of you, I suppose. That's kind of what I kind of took from it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's like the Van Halen song Right Now. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
There's no tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. And so, okay, so that's a great way to be in the world is right now. Okay, what can I choose right now that would actually shift and change things? And so look how, see, isn't this amazing? Like, we're talking about entities contributing to you right now. And so, and actually assisting you. How is that so weird? Because the society and the movies make them all scary.
It's true. Yeah.
And so, see, there's a big lie right here, and you just got to really get that. Just like I said it earlier, there's good ones and there's bad ones. And so look at the ones you're running to. Those were two ones that were actually being assisting to you, saying, hey, if you don't want to suffer anymore, here's my hand. I'll assist you. And then there's another one that says, hey, if you want to stay with your family and be something different, here's another choice. You choose, and you chose, and that's what's amazing, is that you listen to these beings, and then you're like, okay, well, I could go that way. That's pretty nice. Well, I could go this way. Oh, let me choose this way. Okay.
Yeah.
Entities have choice too, so it's and a lot of them want to like be there for you, assist you, and bring better things and contribute.
And so one thing you brought up, and I thought it was really neat, was you talked about gifts. To the audience, what are good examples of? I mean, I know we'll use this one, but what would you consider? What kind of gifts should people either understand?
It could be anything, actually. So it could be, something shows up. Money could show up unexpectedly from somewhere, and you're like, you were asking for assistance from one of your teammates or something like that, and then money shows up, and that's just an example. It could be, it could be a jewelry or something else. And I know I'm making it material things like that. However, it could be. No,
it's okay. I mean, that's everything starts from understanding, right?
I'm giving you, it could be that, you have something that's a miracle that shows up. So like you choosing to live, like that's a miracle. So yeah, that's great. So you could have something like that. The thing you want to do, whatever it is, because I could go on and on and on with a billion different things it could show up as. However, what you want to do is be open to it. First off, receive. You're going to have to lower your walls and barriers, because you've probably been like, ghost, what? So you got to like lower those walls and barriers, and then actually be okay with them. Like, would you want to hang around a friend that was always like pushing you away? Like, why do you come around here? So
I don't know why I love being around my wife. She's kind of like that. She's a cat kind of person. So she's like, I'm like, hey, babe. And I try to hug her. She get away. And then I was like, I'm trying to get away. And she's like, where are you going?
Exactly.
Come on.
Exactly. So, well, see, the thing is that we when we relax with and be ourselves, like we were talking about, and be ourselves with all energies, because you want to be yourself with not just like entities, with nature, with the world, the universe, so, and with other people, so with bodies and then without bodies. So relax and be you with everything, and stop excluding things, and you'll start to receive more from all kinds of different things. And then when it shows up, be grateful and acknowledge it, so it can get greater, so that you can receive more.
That's pretty badass. I say that's my word, is badass. But to me, that's awesome. I get what it means.
Yeah.
Man, this is awesome. My wife definitely wants to talk to you. She's gonna watch this thing over and over. All right, now let's go talk to him, which is good.
Yeah, that's super amazing.
We were talking about how can people reach you? If they're wanting to.
So definitely. So you can reach me. Easiest way to reach me is on the website. So activateone.com, and that's activateone.com. And so you can, there's a phone number on there. So you can see classes that I have. You can look at all kinds of different information in there of different other things, modalities that I have available in there. So there's a ton of different things that are inside of there. So I do have classes about specifically entities. If you would like to, work on scheduling something like that, you can build a class of your own, or you can look on the schedule and see if there's one you can attend. Okay. That's
pretty awesome. We also talked about that cleansing or clearing. We were thinking about.
So what we were talking about is that, so there's entities everywhere, and you may have some entities around you right now. And so if you're willing, let's do all your walls and barriers. Let's push them down right now. Just imagine you could like take your hands like I'm doing right now and push them down. Push them, all those walls and barriers down. Everything that you believe that is actually protecting you, which is actually keeping things in that you really don't want. And so you're just pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. Or it's some crazy idea that you had that you needed to have this wall here, which actually is not even true anymore. And you can just let that go. Okay, great. So now that we have that, so if you're willing, this is a choice. If you're willing, so nobody's forcing you to do anything here. If you're willing, if you would like to let some entities go right now, please do. Be open to it. Just say yes. And so, and as you were doing that, we're going to just clear it out. I'm going to say an entity clearing that comes from access consciousness. And so don't worry about it. You don't have to understand it. You just have to actually just let go. Okay. So, all right. So to all truth, or like, I'll just ask you, Therese, are you willing to, for the group, for everybody that watches this, say yes, and will you let go of right now?
Yeah, I'll let some of them go for sure.
Okay, cool. So you see how you said some of them. Okay, so that's good. And so whatever level that you would want to let go of, and that's okay. Okay? So whatever that level is, just be okay with it. You may be comfortable with letting go of this amount, or comfortable letting go of this amount. So whatever that is for you. So, okay, now there's nothing for you to do. You just said yes. And so here we go. And so truth, who are all of you? And I'm talking to the entities, not you. Truth, who are all of you before that? And truth, who are all of you before that? And truth, who are all of you before that? And truth, who are all of you before that? And truth, who are all of you before that? And truth, who are all of you before that? And truth, who are all of you before that? And truth, who will all of you be in the future? And all of that magnetic, electrical, chemical imprinting, will we now dissipate, release it from our bodies and our beings, and right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pock, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And you can all go now. You can leave now. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. You can all leave now. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. You can all leave now. And so now just notice as you're doing that, remember how we talked about the light and heavy. Are you having a lighter sensation right now? Cool.
I'm having, partial. I'm also feeling heat coming from certain spots on my body, like really hot spots.
Okay, cool. So just ask the entities dissipating, releasing from me right now. Yes. Okay, great. So just keep letting them go. Let's go a little bit more then. Truth. So a lot of times they get caught in an identity. Truth, what are you? Truth, what are you for that? Truth, what are you for that? Truth, what are you for that? And truth, what are you for that? And truth, what are you for that? And truth, what will you be in the future? And you can all go now. And truth, what is your job? And truth, what was your job for that? And truth, what was your job for that? And truth, what was your job for that? And truth, what will your job be in the future? You can all go now. Right, wrong, keep it online, pock, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And I know I'm saying the clearing statement really quickly. It's about a 5-page clearing, and it just clears things out. It's very easy to use. And you can go to theclearingstatement.com for a further explanation of it.
Awesome. And Brian, thank you so much. Man, I feel a little different. I'm like, hey, some of those hot spots have left.
Yay.
Thank you.
And it's cool. And so, and if you don't, you're listening to this, if you don't notice something different, it's okay. All right. It's totally okay. Some people are super energetic and some people are not. And so, and you can become even more energetic and be aware of things. You just have to ask questions. What would it take for me to be more aware? What would it take for me to have more energy? So those sorts of things. And so just be aware that you're not wrong if you're not experiencing the lightness. The entities may still just leave. You may notice it in a different way. You may notice it as ease. You may notice as, wow, I'm having a lot more easy time doing this. Okay, so don't qualify it as one thing. Look for what might be different in your life and how that might have changed, and just acknowledge it like we talked about and let it get bigger.
That's pretty cool. Like I said, yeah, I already feel like a little lighter, like just around me. Like I feel kind of cool breezes around here, but the heat from the other spots is kind of that, or it's the cold outside. You know, one of the other.
Well, that's cool.
No,
yeah, exactly. So acknowledge it and then let it get greater. So, and a lot of times what you're talking about are the little vortexes of energy. And when they're leaving, they sometimes create vortexes of energy too.
Interesting.
Okay.
Brian, thanks for being on the show. We got to have you back. You know, it took long enough for us to get scheduled on this one.
Yes.
You know, let's make it sooner rather than later.
Definitely, anytime. Just let me know.
Okay,
it's my pleasure. My pleasure to be with everyone. Okay.
Okay. Any last advice for any of the audience?
I think we talked about so much. So I would just say keep choosing more and being you. And so, and be different. You are different, and champion that difference, because that is the strength and the power and the potency that you be. And don't allow the society to force you to fit into a certain place. Just be that magic that you are, and keep going and keep going. And whatever it is that you would like to create, be that energy and create it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm going to create an army of ninjas.
I love it. That's awesome.
But again, Brian, thank you.
That's
Brian.
Awesome.
Brian Stovall is our guest. I'll put up his stuff so you guys can see it, where to contact him, website and everything. Again, Brian, thank you so much for being on our show. We'll see you again soon.
My pleasure. Bye, everyone.
All right. Like, guys, have a good one. Bye.
What an episode, huh? Brian Stovall, folks, with Activate One. So his web address is active1.com. His email address is brian@activate1.com. He's about clearing out entities and clearing stuff up for you. He was easy to talk to. Man, it was awesome. Guys, again, thank you for watching my GhostCast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to hook it up with some of them on Patreon. Again, thanks for watching. This is my GhostCast.